processes and practices are necessary, but having the right culture and performance depends, in the Commissioner's words, upon people applying the right standards and doing their job properly. This interim report also makes clear that while behaviour was poor, misconduct, when revealed, quote, either went unpunished or the consequences did not meet the seriousness of what has been done. The Commissioner makes a series of significant observations with respect to the effectiveness and the ability of regulators to detect, monitor and enforce compliance with the law. ASIC, the Commissioner points out, rarely went to court to seek public denunciation of and punishment for misconduct. Indeed, in his words, little happened beyond an apology from the entity, drawn-out remediation, an infringement notice, or an enforceable undertaking that acknowledged no more than ASIC had reasonable concerns about the entity's conduct. Significantly, the Commissioner observed infringement notices imposed penalties that were immaterial for the large banks. Again, in his words, too often entities have been treated in ways that would allow them to think that they, not ASIC, not the Parliament, not the courts, will decide when and how the law will be obeyed or the consequence of the breach remedied. I want to repeat that. Too often, entities have been treated in ways that would allow them to think that they, not ASIC, not the Parliament, not the courts, will decide when and how the law will be obeyed or the consequences of the breach remedied. This is clearly unacceptable and cannot continue. Finally, the Commissioner asked the question, what can be done to prevent the conduct happening again? In doing so, he makes the telling observation that much more often than not, the conduct now condemned was contrary to the law. This does raise the question whether new laws are required or whether existing laws simply need to be better enforced. He also asks the question, should the existing law be simplified rather than adding an extra layer of legal complexity to an already complex regulatory regime? This interim report is a frank and scathing assessment of the culture, conduct and compliance of our financial system. Australians expect and deserve better. The government thanks the Commissioner for his interim report. We look forward to receiving his final report. And we will take the action necessary to restore the public's confidence and trust in our financial system, which is a vitally important part of the Australian economy. Are there any questions?